Thank you very much for staying on here on News This. Now, we'll get into our first matter of the day, which I am super excited about because it has to do with the Black Stars. And Ghana will be trying. We won't be trying. We will be beating the Americans for the third straight time at the World Cup on Monday. Now, following victories in 2006 and 2010. And, well, today we will meet the the US of A again, and Captain Asamoah Gyan and Coach Appiah say the team is ready to face their opponents. They are sure the Ghanaian team will make the nation proud.
Back home the expectation is high back home. Everybody's expecting Ghana to prove ourselves once again this year. Last two tournaments that we've been going, and I think we believe in ourselves. And talking about the goal scoring thing, I'm a striker, and everybody expects me to score sometimes. But I believe in teamwork, so we have to just stay focused and then be like a team, and then make sure we do the right thing. And I think the victory will come by itself, when we are more dedicated and stay compact. Yeah, we know. That's what everybody thinks about Ghana. Of us rating Ghana as underdogs and the other teams as favorites, which is statistically, is the right thing. But football doesn't come with names anymore. It depends how you're gonna do on the field. Yeah, definitely the United States will be coming in their numbers to support their players, and that is what we've witnessed from the past two World Cups playing against them. Definitely sometimes the fans play a very, very important role in the game. They keep on cheering their players to give them more power to just do what they are doing. But not forgetting, we are on the field, we are on the players, not the fans. So the fans can do their job. They have to just make sure they cheer their players to do the thing. But secondly, is the 22 players on the field which are dealing with each other. So we will make sure we do our right thing. That was what I said earlier. We have to just stay focused and then play our normal game. Definitely the fans play very important, but we also do our thing. We make sure we do the right thing on the field and then make sure we come out victorious.
It's difficult to say that Ghana is going to play a totally different tactical display tomorrow. We have been watching the US game. I believe in taking the game as it comes, and for now, we're looking at the US. So we put in so many, tactics into our training sessions, because tactics depends on the quality of players you've got, and then at the same time the opposing team that you're facing. So tactics could be changed at any given time, and I cannot be very specific as to what tactics I'm going to start tomorrow now.
Right, and I am thinking we are going to beat the United States of America. Forgive me if I'm being Black Stars biased, but we're coming to you live from Accra, Ghana, and it feels good to be doing that. But we hit the streets. Matilda Omega has been speaking to some people, and here are some thoughts they shared on the Black Stars US of A match.
Okay, so this morning is all about the Black Stars. We are cheering them up for victory. I'm currently at the forecourt of the Accra Sports Stadium, where we'll be finding out from people their expectation of today's match between Ghana and the USA. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Can you tell us your name?
I'm Thomas. Good morning.
Thomas, tell us, what are your expectations of today's match?
It's great. I want Black Stars to win.
What exactly do you want them to do today in order to get the victory?
They must be tactically strong in the mind. And because US, when you see the matches they play so far, you realize that physically they are very strong as compared to Ghanaians. we are not up to that level. So I want them to be very strong on the pitch.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Hello. So what are your expectations of today's match?
Oh, we are expecting from our stars and also prayer for engine free. My prayer is I pray for Asamoah and Sule to pray well, and my prayer is the coach also to be warm, to also to have good mind on the players. It's sometimes when you are playing and the way you taught the players, they are not playing well. You'll be so confused as a coach. So I'm praying to the coach to also to be good and supportive to his players.
So what are your predictions today?
Oh, I'm praying that Asamoah and Sule to score 2 goals each.
Thank you so much. We'll still be speaking to more people to find out their views on today's match. We know that today Ghana is meeting the USA for the 3rd time. So we'll be speaking to people to find out more about their expectation of today's match. Hello, you're live on Joy News Multi TV. Your name?
My name is Awal Mohammed.
So Awal, tell us, what are your expectations of today's match?
Well, I'm expecting my people to deliver, the Ghanaian players to deliver, because the reason why I'm saying that is we don't want them to be complacent, because they've done it once before in 2010. So what we are telling them, they should not be complacent. They should just be focused, because we know we have a good technical bench. We have the coaches. There are so many coaches who are going to support them. So we are just telling them that they should go all out, then they should deliver and just win the match for us. Ghanaians are also expecting a win from them.
Okay, so what is your prediction?
My prediction will be 2-1 in favor of Ghana.
All right, thank you so much. Hello, good morning. Ma, tell us, today, what are your expectations of the Black Stars?
My expectation is I need a ticket to go. That's all.
You need a ticket to go.
And I know we are going to score.
You heard it from her. She needs a ticket to go and watch this match today. We'll be speaking to more people to find out their expectation of today's match between Ghana and the USA. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Can you give us your name?
My name is Sefado Michael.
So, Sefa, tell us, what are your expectations of today's match?
Oh, today, born a baby in the New Year's, a best trainer, Ghana best train.
Osha Dana players no money, they say on betting we didn't kunima.
Yeah, then Kaya say support a Benyana, Yeribaka support him, and also Yaka Yantimiankoi. Yadia bear 3 days, I Yantimiankoi. Yanai cry. The best are banning wine as we enter in Kobe.
Now, Osha in the match, no, as Asamoah and Kikahono, then also Munyan.
Asamoah better first go. Better first go.
You heard it all for yourself. So we'll still be speaking to more people to find out their views on today's match. Hello, you're live on Multi TV.
Hello.
Can you give us your name?
I'm Kamaluddin Farouk.
So, Kamali, tell us, what are your expectations of today's match?
I'm expecting Ghana to win the match massively. Likewise, we've done it in the past. We beat them on 2 occasions. So this time around, I feel we have to win so that we silence them. Okay. Yeah.
From the technical team, what are you expecting from them? The coach, all of them, what are you expecting?
No, they have to select the best players for the match, for the game, because there's no time for us to relax at all.
So for the first half, what should be the selection?
The selection? Kwarasi, Inkum, Jonathan Mensah, Waris, there is Asamoah, as you know.
Who are you expecting to win the to get us the first goal?
Jordan. I believe, yeah, I think.
He says Jordan. He expects Jordan to give us the first goal. So we'll be speaking to more people. Hello, you're live on Multi TV.
Hello.
Can you give us your name?
I'm Edwin Eason.
Edwin, tell us, what is your expectation of today's match between the Black Stars and the USA?
Actually, we're expecting a lot of fans in Brazil to cheer up the players and motivate them to score the goals we need in Ghana. But so unfortunate, most of us are disappointed over here, especially the supporters union that had the opportunity to grab visas to Brazil happens to be in Ghana here while the match is going on. You know, but I can tell you that USA, they are not coming for a joke. Actually, they are not coming for the cup. They just want to come and score Ghana and leave. And so they are carrying a lot of supporters to Brazil. You know, and that will motivate their players to score more goals. So we needed more supporters. We needed more supporters in Brazil to be able to cheer up our players, motivate them to score all the goals we need. But so unfortunately, we are so disappointed. But we are so happy that Ghana is playing today, and Ghana is going to win USA by 3-0.
All right. My name is Gifty Doe. Gifty, tell us, what's your expectation from today's match?
My dear, thank you very much for the question. I'm expecting a lot from the boys. I know Asamoah will deliver. First goal, I'm expecting the day are you and Asamoah. Today we have to get that goals for us. And so we have been speaking to many people here just at the forecourt of the Accra Sports Stadium, where we have been finding out their views on today's match between Ghana and the USA. This is the third time Ghana is meeting the USA, and we hope that they're able to make us proud. So we wish them all the best in today's match. Go Ghana! Matilda Homaga for Joy News.
Right, so it's not only Ghanaians who've been expressing their views as far as this very important match is concerned. We've had the United States ambassador to Ghana, Gyan predicting a 3-2 win against Ghana in the upcoming match between the two countries. She spoke exclusively to Joy News' Gyan Appiah, the ambassador who admits to a sense of discomfort for having to play a country which is beating them twice. However, he cannot be less confident about victory for his side this time around.
Very, very deep heart. And a very sad countenance, I have to say, that the United States will emerge victorious 3-2.
USA coach Bob Bradley makes two changes, with Ricardo Clark playing alongside Michael Bradley in central midfield.
The United States and Ghana are preparing to meet each other again in the World Cup series on Monday, 17th June 2014. So we gave the platform to U.S. Ambassador Gyan to assess their chances. Ambassador Kretz sees the game as a competition between U.S. tennis players Venus and Serena Williams.
We know we have a challenge, but it's very much, I was thinking about this, you know, our relationship, the American relationship with Ghana is so close that in thinking about the impact of the game, I thought about the competition between Serena Williams and Venus Williams. When they go on the court, they are, you know, they're still sisters, but they're competing hard against each other. And once the game ends, they go back to being close sisters.
But he still dreads the fixture.
As we look to the game, that's how I think we're looking toward it. As unfortunate, in fact, that this is the third time that we've had to meet so early on, and it's very disheartening, actually, that being so close to each other as countries and cultures and peoples, that in the first round one of us has to do damage to the other. So maybe sometime in the future, if we can be in a different round, it would be better, so that we could both meet in the final, perhaps.
So I had an interesting suggestion. After losing twice to Ghana in the World Cup, maybe America should just focus on basketball. He says it's an American thing to pursue everything.
It's true that while the United States, excels in basketball and baseball, soccer has become really part of the American sports landscape. And while it doesn't perhaps engender the kind of raw emotion that we see among Europeans and African populations, it is still very popular. And the United States, we compete everywhere. We're not going to cede the field to anybody in any sport or in any other endeavor. It's a good, healthy competition, and if we win, we win. If we lose, we lose.
So what does America have now that makes them so confident of victory?
Hard to say. The coach himself is talking tough. I mean, the coach of the American team has said that I believe something to the effect that unless this team plays its very, very best every minute, it's not going to make it to the finals. So I don't know what the comparative advantage is. I think there's two good teams going out on the field, two friendly teams, two teams that respect each other, and may the best team win.
Already, a number of surprises are emerging in the World Cup series, like the Netherlands-Spain incident. Perhaps that's what gives the Americans the much-needed hope as they wait on Monday.
See you on Monday.
Well, as Ghana prepares to meet a country that it has beaten twice again, the United States of America's ambassador to Ghana, Gyan, says he wished that they wouldn't be in the same category with Ghana. But as he says, America does not give up no matter what. We wait for the scores. Gyan and Appiah, Joy News, American Embassy, Accra.
Right, so when I come back, I'll read some of your messages, and then we'll get into the game proper. What we should expect tonight. Don't go. We'll try and do as the song says, but I have here with me Nathaniel Atto, and we'll look at the game over the next few minutes. Thank you very much, Nathaniel.
Anytime.
So it's a really important game, right?
Definitely, very, very important game. The stakes are very high. For the Black Stars, it's more of we're used to the qualification. So qualification now is a minimum. It's the foundation for Ghana. So if you'd realize, ahead of the start of the World Cup, there was not much of a buzz. If you'd realize, you drive around town now, you see that many people have their paraphernalia, from jerseys to flags to sweatbands to everything. And it just goes to tell you that now we're looking forward to the performance, the big performance, which is going beyond the quarterfinal stage, which was what was recorded in South Africa 2010. But more importantly is this US game. For me as an individual and as an analyst, I would want to say that this is our most difficult game of the group. I say this because the United States of America probably are coming into this tournament saying that, well, we'd want to go beyond the group stage, but even if we beat Ghana and we don't go out of the group stage, we're fine. Okay? Luckily for the U.S. team and for their coach, Jürgen Klinsmann, the MLS Soccer League, their top flight, ended earlier in the year, as against Europe and those of us in Africa. And it gave them a lot of time to experiment, to train, to go on training tours and everything before getting into Brazil finally. So the stakes are very high. Also note that the Americans have now grown a bigger passion for football. Now, this is the interesting thing. They've been able to get, the NBA, playoffs out of the way. San Antonio Spurs have beaten, Miami Heat to it. It's out of the way. So now it's the FIFA World Cup. And now in terms of preference, football is the third most sought after sport in the United States of America. And this should just tell you that this time around there's bigger passion, there's bigger attention on the US team, and there is there are bigger expectations weighing on them to perform against no less a team than the Black Stars, who have on the same stage knocked them out before. And when you listen to our colleagues internationally and everything, they use the term knockout. That Ghana knocked the USA out of the World Cup. I remember very well that during one of my trips to the US, immediately after the Germany 2006 World Cup at Madison Square Garden. This was during a boxing bout involving a Ghanaian boxer, and the seasoned interviewer on HBO just came over to all of us and whispered, Ghana practically knocked the US out of the World Cup, and then he walked away. So for them, it's everything to play for the Black Stars.
Can we say we're looking forward to a knockout again?
Well, in footballing terms, you'd want to see what will happen on the pitch, at least for the first 15 or 20 minutes, before you can make any conclusions. But you see, as modern football will have it, there is nothing like names and faces anymore. We all saw what happened to Spain a few days ago, okay? And that alone should tell us a lot. Thing is that Ghana is going in there with a certain mindset. Number one, we have for the very first time a Ghanaian, an indigenous Ghanaian coach. For the very first time, it looks like we have the full complements of our finest players that we can have. Something similar to that of 2006. Remember that in the year 2010, Michael Essien, for instance, was lost out of the team because of his long, running injury. This time around, it just looks like we've been able to put together our best performers, in all the big leagues all over the world, and we're having all of them in the team right now. So it gives Kwesi Appiah a whole list of options to select from. I mean, we're not forgetting the injury that Jerry Akamenko sustained, which brought a very big vacuum in the defense, which is supposed to be a very big, challenging, department of the game for the Black Stars.
What should we expect the game to look like?
Well, for me, immediately, I'm looking at a very pacey game to be brought on by the U.S. team. A game where they would want to take advantage of all open spaces and catch us on the break a lot of the time. And I see Ghana playing the traditional, smooth game, the regular passing game where you have them build up from the back gradually, or build up from the midfield, which is supposed to be our area of strength. And then based on that, we're able to make some attempts at goal. If Ghana decides to play a pacey game and plays to the rhythm of the U.S. team, then we are in a lot of trouble. I mean, if you still have the likes of Clint Dempsey, Josie Altidore, all the other guys in the U.S. team now, then you should know that we're going to do a lot of fast-paced, football. But once we're able to once we're able to control the midfield, then we dictate the pace of the game to a very large extent. We dictate ball control, we dictate how we distribute the ball around the pitch and all of that. And that is going to go in our favor. I'm not looking at a scoreline which will be too vast or too, I just realized that the U.S. ambassador predicted a 3-2 win. I do disagree with him for 3-2 for U.S. I've really put on my Ghanaian coat today. And for purely football, analysis, look, it's going to be a very tough game. There's no doubt about that. But I see Ghana going in and, we have that mentality. We're going in with that winning mentality. And there's that bigger confidence as well from the two.
If we encountered a pacey game, like you put it, why wouldn't we be able to match up with it? Okay, now, when you take a look at the African game and the African terrain, traditionally, we are not used to having lush green pitches everywhere where the kids play their football. So there's a very high likelihood that you see people, take their time, build up, before going towards goal. You hardly see African teams play the very pacey game and run around and do all of that. Besides, when it comes to having stamina and muscle bulk, you compare Ghana to the Cameroonians, for instance, the Cameroonians of yesteryear, for instance, so you realize that we had a bit of a disadvantage. And even in previous Africa Cup of Nations campaigns, it had always been an issue that some of our players were stamina suspect. Of course, as for stamina issues, it's going to affect almost all the players, especially those who are playing in Europe, because it's been a long season and there's a lot of fatigue. I mean, if you look at the Spanish team, for instance, you can see that everybody's worn out because day in, day out, you're playing for Copa this or, La Liga that. You understand me? So, yes, let's play our own game. Let's dictate the pace. And like I said, the engine of our play is done from the midfield. So what's it gonna be like? Are we looking at a game that would demand a lot more mental strength than
Definitely. Look, if you are making an attempt, a third attempt at the World Cup, and especially at a time when you've gone to a certain stage, and it's going to be even more difficult to get to the next stage, then clearly there's going to be a lot of, pressure weighing on your shoulder. But of course, these guys have played in the biggest arenas in the world. They have played with all of these big name players. That's the very important thing that we all have to note here. Very important thing that we all have to note here. These guys have played at the highest level. I mean, you take a look at Asamoah, he plays in the Italian Serie A for Juventus. You take a look at Kevin Prince Boateng, he plays in the German Bundesliga, knows all of those big names and faces. You understand me? Abdul Majid Waris plays his football for, Abdul Majid Waris playing his football in Spain as well, and encountering the almighty, Cristiano Ronaldo and all of them. So when you take a look at all of this, you'd realize that our guys have gone through the mill, have seen all of these big arenas, and have taken themselves through the stress of overcoming, especially when your team is down and you have to fight back and score and probably win a game. I think it's going to go well. Look, Ghana, the Black Stars have come of age, and we are, mind you, in the last two World Cups, we've been the highest rated African team at the last 2 World Cups. And we've been very consistent at the last 2 performances. So we're not coming in.
Reviews now feel that we may not be able to put up the same performances we have over the last 8 years as far as football is concerned.
All right. Now, well, it's fine if anybody decides to think that. But ask yourself, what is the basis on which we're saying all of this? Look, ahead of Germany 2006, we went to the Africa Cup of Nations and we performed woefully. I mean, nobody gave us a dog's chance of even winning a game. Not even drawing, let alone win a game. I'm sure we all remember. We all remember when we went to Egypt, played in the Africa Cup of Nations. Stephen Appiah was half injured, was not readily available, had to come into the game, struggle. And that day when we wore the infamous black jersey for the Black Stars that we had to lose to, I think it was Zimbabwe, And so whoever thought that we were going to perform at the World Cup? Same circumstances surrounding the year 2010 when we played a pre-World Cup friendly and we lost by 4 heavy goals to the Dutch team that has performed very well in their opening game. So look, you see, football doesn't have a formula. It's like Coca-Cola. Nobody knows the formula for Coca-Cola. It's a worldwide trade secret, and I think that it doesn't have a formula. Therefore, get on the pitch and just deliver your game. Coach Kwesi Appiah, before I round it up, Coach Kwesi Appiah once said that he doesn't have a standard formation that he plays.
So then we don't expect to know what form
if
the
you were
team
a
will
coach
take.
and we say Coach Kemini is saying that she plays 5-4-4-2 or 5-3-2-1 or whatever, Kwesi Appiah says that when you get on the pitch, all of that formation distorts, and it's a minute-by-minute analysis of the game and re-strategizing minute by minute, because everything changes at every single time. So you can't use a 4-4-2 formation from the first minute to the 90th minute or beyond. You understand me? And it's true, because you go into a game and one player is substituted, the other one comes, there's a switch, and the whole game changes its pattern.
Let's look at the American side. We're not playing the same team, we beat in 2010.
To a large extent, like I said, we've got a few names and faces who are still there. Clint Dempsey was there. Josie Altidore was there. Michael Bradley is also going to be there as well. Quite a number of names and faces who are making up the U.S. team. So it's regular foes, regular names and faces, but at the end of the day, if you beat them 4 years ago, it doesn't mean that it's the same team that, look, Holland and France. Holland and Spain. They played the last, World Cup final 4 years ago. Basically the same squad, the same old Iniestas and the same old, goalkeeper Casillas had a very, very good game on that final day, and ended up kissing a journalist on the pitch for everybody to see. And there he was yesterday, totally destroyed. And look at the goal that he conceded against, Ian Robin. I mean, he was totally disgraced. He looked like for crying out loud, like a little boy learning at an academy or something. So you see, whether or not it's the same team, look, it's a new game. Everything is erased. I mean, and that is how I want the Black Stars to approach this game. Everything has been erased. We're starting afresh. Let's just say we haven't met them before. They're a highly rated team, and we need to win this game to go through to our next game. This should be the mentality of the boys.
What does it look like afterwards, whether we win, we draw, or we lose?
Now, winning the game is our best form of insurance in this, or our best form of security in this tournament for this game. Because the game already, remember, the game between Germany and Portugal, which starts off the action for today at 4 p.m., is in itself a very tough game, which is going to have a lot of, is going to have a lot of effect on what happens eventually in the group. You understand me? So win the game, that's the safest. At worst is a draw. But remember that if you draw, then you are subjecting yourself or opening yourself up for a lot more of the mathematical calculations as to who will win and by which goal margin. We don't want to go through that stress. Win the game and that's it. If you lose, then there's even bigger work for you to do, like the likes of Cameroon and Spain.
Can we win the game? I think for those of us who really don't care about the sports mass and, the names and all that, we just want to know, can we win the game?
90 to 100% yes.
We can.
Of course. Why not?
I like that. I like the fact that we could win the game. It's good to hear. Thank you very much, Nathaniel, for passing through the studio.
Thank you. My pleasure.
I'm not going to ask you to predict. I really don't care.
No.
Even if it's just
it's wrong.
a goal.
Well, it's wrong to predict. I mean, you project and just put everything up in your head and just watch the game. That's what you should do as a football fan.
I really don't care if it's just a goal. But once we are winning, it's good for me. But thank you very much, Nathaniel.
Anytime.
Pleasure talking to you.
My pleasure.
It's fantastic doing all that. Okay, but I understand I need to read something before you go, so let me do that. And then maybe you react to it then. It says, of all the possible nemesis in the World Soccer, the American national team is haunted by a team from an impoverished, impoverished West African nation with a population less than 1/10 the size of the USA. Ghana, which has knocked the US out of the last 2 World Cups, is the youngest team at this tournament with an average age of 25.8, blah, blah, blah. And then it goes on to say, right. I've been told that all that I'm reading isn't exactly what's supposed to go on. But who is Ghana, and why can't the US beat them?
I'll tell you why. It's very, very, very simple. You heard that the use of the knockout thing. You remember I referred to it earlier.
You did.
That our friends in the international media are using knockout. Ghana knocked the US out of the World Cup. Okay? And it's very simple because you see, if you have a population of 250 million plus people, okay, there should be a higher percentage of finding the kind of talent that we have in our team and finding the kind of quality that we have in our team. Second of all, they have better structures when it comes to development of football. Third of all, they have better infrastructure. But you see, at the end of the day, we've got better talent. Look, when you go to South Africa, for instance, South Africa have got the wherewithal to put boxing together and package it, and make money out of it. Ghana has the talent. South Africa has television, so they can get a Floyd Mayweather Jr. to go and fight in South Africa. But as things stand now, Ghana, it'll take a little while. We're now getting TV to come in. You understand me? So it's not about the size of the nation. This is one of the reasons why a lot of the time Nigeria is very mad when Nigerian fans get very, very mad when, the Black Stars beat the Super Eagles, in football on the continent, whether it's a competitive game or whether it's, it's a friendly game. You understand me? These are the reasons why. Because there should be, if we have a Muntari, then there should be 300 other Muntaris at the least in the US. If we have an Essien, then there should be about 500, 600 of them, or 1,000 of them scattered all over from the east to the west coast. You understand me? So, look, if we win this game, which I hope we will today, it's going to spark even bigger headlines, and it's going to spark a lot of research. It's going to, make them try to even brainstorm some more to want to find out why we're beating them. Look, recently, Coach Ike Afrani was invited by the Brazilians to come over and lecture on how he was able to beat them back then at the juvenile level.
Take a look at that. The Black Stars aren't a flashy team or even a particularly good one.
Okay.
Is that true?
I think that in doing, and this is the other thing. In doing the analysis, I think we should give credit where it is due. If you tell me that the Black Stars team is not necessarily a flashy one and not exactly a good one, I beg to differ. If we only beat the US, and this is, I'm taking away my sense of nationalism and everything. Put all of this is pure technical talk. Sometimes we should be good enough to accept it when defeat has come and it has come from a smaller team. You understand me? Show the respect. Pay respects.
But you know what I think?
It's just like the current world champions saying that, don't worry. The orange team of Netherlands are just an ordinary team. Look, crying out loud. We've got a lot of quality in our team. We've got world beaters, world-class players in our team.
I think that the writer of this article was just consoled. It's from the Wall Street Journal.
Sure.
I think the writer was just consoling himself.
I'm saying that we're all permitted. Hold on. Kamini, I'm just saying that.
Okay, Matthew, I think you were just consoling yourself because you know we're going to beat you. And so you're just saying we're not a flashy team or even a particularly good one. But we'll give you a third nightmare. Yes, we will. Thank you very much, Nathaniel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure talking to you.
My pleasure.
We don't care who Ghana is or whether we're a flashy team or not, but we're beating them. I'll come back and read some of your messages. Don't go away. Right. Thank you very much for staying on here. You're watching the Joy News Desk. Behind me is Brazil 2014 because the center of the program today has to do with the World Cup match between the Black Stars and the United States of America. Some of you have been sharing your thoughts. Now, Swedish referee Jonas Eriksson has been appointed to handle tonight's match, and Eriksson has been a FIFA referee since 2002. He will be assisted on the lines by compatriots Matthias Klesenius and Daniel Wonmark, with Tahiti's Norbert Hawata as the fourth official. I hope I got that right. And some of you think or are asking for a fair and consistent officiating. And Roland Nanayao Arthur, who's scared, says, hey, this man, remember the Man City versus Barcelona match? And Johnson Eben, who says, did I really see Tahiti? Aminu Yara says, it shall be well. Edwin Charles Chidiebere says, wish you guys whatever you wish Nigeria. Team Africa United. And Flaxstone says, all the best to them. Tesse Augustine says, no matter the referee, Ghana is victorious. And Bonti Benjamin says, Ghana will shine no matter what. Abdul Kudu says, Ghana 2, USA 1. Paul Adombo Sergio says, see a country did not qualify for the World Cup, has their referee to officiate matches in the world, but Ghana, please tell the Ghanaian referee to stop taking bribes and officiate a good match. Really? Okay. Christopher Amponsa says, be fair and firm. Bismarck says, we want fair and a just referee. Well, Lasisi says, him or not, we will win the match. I like that spirit. Absolutely. He's not the most millionaire referee in the world. I don't know what that means. It was Bernard, but I totally appreciate it. Godwin Jikunu predicts a 2-0 win for Ghana. Isaac Opoku, with God on our side, we will win this match. McEvans Major Koshiga says, we just hope he will do a fair job. David Smith Caesar says, since we Ghana, when we win today, we have nothing to do with the referee, or better still, they can bring a USA referee. We don't fear who. I like that one. Well, those are your messages on Facebook, and keep them coming in. I'll share a few more just before I go.